shot. And he was killed because individuals here in this courtroom took the law into their own hands.
The judge hands down the sentence in the trial, and it likely means the three men convicted in connection with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery will spend the rest of their days in prison. Tonight, the Omicron surge showing no signs of letting up. Cases hitting record highs in more than 30 states. Hospitals reaching a breaking point again, but largely with unvaccinated patients, or in some cases, patients admitted for something else and then testing positive for COVID. And a key test today of the Biden administration's vaccine mandate for businesses. The conservative Supreme Court hearing arguments from both sides. How soon this decision could come in and the ripple effects it may have. Our Supreme Court reporter, Devin Dwyer, standing by. Overseas tonight, the fight for change in Kazakhstan. Demonstrators taking to the streets to demand lower oil prices. The authoritarian leader issuing a shoot-to-kill order. And why should we all care about what's happening there? Our Ian panel has an in-depth report on a country at a tipping point. Back here at home, the winter storm dumping feet of snow on the East Coast. The coldest air of the season now rushing in. And in Washington state, the major flood concern not far from Seattle, entire communities underwater. Rob Marciano tracking the coast-to-coast forecast tonight. Career of unforgettable and dynamic performances. And how he opened the door for so many other black actors. How did he want to be remembered?
It is enough to rejoice in our short time here and to remember how much we loved the view.
What an amazing life. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff in for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We made it through the first week of 2022, and it's been an emotional one for so many. Today, a powerful day in a courtroom in the Georgia murder trial of Ahmaud Arbery. 3 men were sentenced to life in prison. 2 of them, Gregory and Travis McMichael, father and son, without the possibility of parole. The nation was rocked by this video, the shooting of an unarmed black man, a scene that struck a painful nerve. The McMichaels and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryant, were convicted of chasing, shooting, and killing the 25-year-old who was out for a run in their neighborhood. Judge Timothy Walmsley today highlighting the significance of this case to the families, to the community, and to this nation. He said this is, quote, an exercise in accountability, if not closure. The judge also laying out what he thinks remorse can look like, saying that of the 3 defendants, only Bryant seemed to have any after Arbery's murder. We have a lot to get to on this Friday night. ABC's Steve Osunsami leads us off from Georgia.
Inside the South Georgia courtroom, the families watching from their seats were praying as the judge began to read.
As to Travis McMichael. Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole.
State law required the judge to hand the 3 men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery life sentences, and the only mercy he could show was to allow them to be eligible for parole after 30 years. But for Travis McMichael, who fired the fatal shot, and his father, Gregory, a former police officer, the judge refused parole. They will die in prison.
They chose to target my son because they didn't want him in their community. They chose to treat him differently than other people who frequently visited their community.
In a powerful moment, Judge Timothy Walmsley sat in silence for one of the 5 minutes that Ahmaud Arbery ran for his life. And he said that this piece of video helped make up his mind, seeing the son and his father turn their backs on the young black man who was dying in the street.
His death should force us to consider expanding our definition of what a neighbor may be and how we treat them. I believe that assuming the worst in others, we show our worst character.
Because he cooperated with investigators, the judge decided that 52-year-old William Roddy Bryant will be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. He recorded the video of the killing.
Mr. Bryant isn't the one who brought a gun. He was unarmed.
Outside the courthouse, friends and family of the victim let out cheers. Arbery's mother, who tearfully spoke in court, called today a victory for justice.
I sat in that courtroom for 5 weeks straight, but I knew that we would come out with a victory. Yes. I never doubted it.
Powerful words from Arbery's mother there. Steve Osunsami joins me now. Steve, these three men also face federal hate crime charges. Race, of course, central to this case. Where do those charges stand?
Yeah, it's not over for these three men. You know, this is really just sort of midway for them in terms of their prosecutions. That trial begins exactly a month from tonight. Phil?
Steve, take us back to that moment in court today. You talked about when the judge paused for a full minute. It was very powerful to watch. How was it received in the courtroom?
It was silence in that courtroom. It was a very powerful moment. It was a really good way of putting you in the shoes of the victim who was killed. And a reminder, he's being chased by men with trucks as he ran for his life. And the judge underlined in this same powerful statement that he believed that assumptions based on color had a lot to do with why this young man was being chased. Phil?
We know you'll be following the federal case for us as well. Steve Osunsami, thank you. Now to the pandemic and the new records being set as Omicron continues to rage out of control all across the U.S. COVID cases breaking records each of the last 10 days, now averaging 586,000 new cases a day. And tonight, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky addressing backlash over the CDC's decision to reduce isolation after a positive case to 5 days without a test. Here's ABC's Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman.
Tonight, the CDC is reporting that children under 5 who are too young to get the vaccine are being hospitalized at double the rate than a month ago. In New York, hospital admissions for that age group rising 8-fold in the past 3 weeks. And many of the children in the hospital are also older, eligible for the vaccine, but still have yet to get the shot.
Those children who are hospitalized do not have to be scared, frightened, lying in a hospital bed. They do not have to be there. Thousands of children have been vaccinated safely.
In Massachusetts, 15-year-old Kurt Ryan passing away Tuesday of COVID complications after getting sick on Christmas.
He just got progressively worse. Actually, it wasn't progressive, it was quick.
His family did not want to talk about Kurt's vaccination status.
Every chance you get, tell the people around you you love them.
Yeah.
And how much they mean to you, because you never know when it's the last time you'll be able to say it.
Across the country, thousands of schools postponing in-person class or going remote. Today in Los Angeles, parents like Irene telling us that trying to find testing for their kids has been like a part-time job.
There's nothing available until 2 weeks from now. She needs to start school on Tuesday.
This comes as COVID cases break daily pandemic records, and now a more worrisome sign, hospitalizations nearing an all-time high. And officials from Oregon to New Hampshire are calling for more help from the National Guard.
We got to wake up, America. All the work that we're doing here and all the care that we're doing, the vast majority of it is preventable.
They ended up getting COVID.
ICU patient Fred Rutherford, who is unvaccinated, says he could have died if it wasn't for the medical team at Dartmouth-Hitchcock.
I will do anything I can to be the voice of people that don't understand you've got to get vaccinated.
Today, the CDC director defending those controversial guidelines, shortening the isolation to 5 days without recommending a test. That after the American Medical Association called them confusing and accused the CDC of risking further spread of the virus.
I have deep respect for the AMA, but I will also say we've heard a lot of support for our ongoing guidance from public health partners, from other clinical and laboratory partners as well.
And later, the CDC director acknowledging the confusion, but reiterating that in a pandemic, the situation is constantly evolving.
This is hard, and I am committed to continue to improve as we learn more about the science and to communicate that with all of you.
And Phil, the past 2 years have been filled with concerning studies. This latest one from the CDC using data from the first year of the pandemic showing that children diagnosed with COVID are then 2.5 times more likely to receive a diagnosis of diabetes in the months after infection. Scientists are not sure why that is. Phil.
Matt Gutman from Los Angeles tonight. Matt, thank you. And tonight, a key component of President Biden's plan to ramp up vaccinations for COVID-19 facing a very critical test at the U.S. Supreme Court. The justices heard an extraordinary 4 hours of arguments today over whether the government has the power to impose vaccine mandates or vaccine or testing requirements on tens of millions of American workers. It's a pivotal moment for the pandemic and for the Biden presidency. Our Devin Dwyer was inside court and has more.
As COVID cases surge, President Biden today at the White House voiced optimism about his plan to end the pandemic emergency.
The new normal doesn't have to be. We have so many more tools we're developing and continuing to develop that can contain COVID and other strains of COVID.
The heart of the president's strategy is mass vaccination of millions more Americans, with help from 2 new government regulations, both at the heart of a major showdown today at the U.S. Supreme Court. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration next month will begin requiring employers of more than 100 workers to mandate vaccinations or conduct regular testing of unvaccinated workers at the company's expense. A separate policy from the Department of Health and Human Services would mandate anyone treating Medicare or Medicaid patients at 76,000 federally funded facilities be vaccinated, with only limited exceptions for religious or health concerns.
There's an expectation on the part of patients if they show up in a healthcare system for treatment, whether it's for COVID or for some other underlying condition or for treatment for surgical procedures, that they're surrounded by those that are vaccinated. We do not want to create further risk to those that are vulnerable.
The unprecedented federal rules would cover roughly 100 million Americans and offer substantial incentive, officials say, for getting the shot. But today at the nation's highest court, a coalition of Republican-led states and business groups asked the justices to put the rules on hold.
We were hearing from small business owners that they very much valued their freedom to do business their way, and they felt like this was very much an encroachment of that right and that freedom. It's Congress who's accountable to the people, not agency officials who are not elected.
The court's conservative majority appeared sympathetic to that argument.
Traditionally, states have had the responsibility for overseeing vaccination mandates.
Justice Samuel Alito saying the government couldn't force people to take a potential risk with their health they don't want to take.
I'm not saying the vaccines are unsafe. I'm not contesting that in any way. There is a risk, right? Has OSHA ever imposed any other safety regulation that imposes some extra risk on the employee?
The court's liberal justices firing back, emphatic that it's unvaccinated Americans who pose a grave risk to others around them, and that Congress gave key agencies power to intervene.
Nearly 1 million people have died. I don't mean to be dramatic here, I'm just sort of stating facts. And this is the policy that is most geared to stopping all this.
22 states already mandate COVID vaccinations for healthcare workers, but no state has issued a similar requirement for private businesses. More than 205 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, but tonight tens of millions of others who are eligible still have not received their first shot.
750,000 new cases yesterday. That's 10 times as many as when OSHA put this rule in. Is that what you're doing now, to say it's in the public interest in this situation to stop this vaccination rule with nearly 1 million new cases every day? I mean, to me, I would find that unbelievable.
The debate playing out in court is the impact of state, local, and private vaccine mandates is rippling through communities nationwide.
I stayed till I got fired. I've never left a job. I've never been fired before.
At the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, 99% of workers are vaccinated as required, but roughly 700 were fired this week for failing to get the shot.
My views don't matter.
No,
just because
our views didn't matter.
Because I hold certain views to be true. It didn't matter.
Lawyers challenging the federal vaccine mandate for health workers warned it could decimate rural communities with staffing shortages at clinics and hospitals. But Justice Elena Kagan wasn't buying it.
Well, all the Secretary is doing here is to say to providers, the one thing you can't do is to kill your patients.
This is an issue that the justices have to see touches all of us, but whether that's going to mean that they're willing, at least a majority of them is willing, to give the federal government the power to act here, I think, is a separate question. And yet, this very conservative, newly constituted court that is pretty skeptical of federal power writ large. So I think there's a good chance that one or both of these policies may be struck down.
And Devin joins me now. Devin, you were in that courtroom today, and even that chamber not immune from the impacts of this Omicron surge.
Yeah, Phil. I mean, for the first time ever, we saw almost all the justices walk into that chamber wearing masks. Only Justice Neil Gorsuch was not. And his seatmate on the bench, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, didn't even show up. She was in the building today for the arguments for work, but she didn't feel comfortable because of Omicron coming into the chamber, even in spite of the masks. And then another first for the court today, Phil. 2 lawyers arguing cases themselves tested positive for the virus. They weren't able to be there. They dialed in by phone. That's never happened before. So certainly the gravity of this moment, this surge, was not lost on the court. And then I also have to say it was pretty clear from across the bench on the left and the right that these justices weren't questioning the efficacy of the vaccines at all. In fact, Justice Sam Alito, as you heard in our piece, made pretty clear he wasn't casting any doubt there. Of course, all of the justices, Phil, were vaccinated, fully vaccinated as of last April. And we just learned this week that they've all also received their booster shots.
Yeah, and as you reported, Devin, clearly some reservations about these new federal rules. When do we expect to hear whether these mandates can go forward?
Well, the OSHA rule, that's the one for private businesses of 100 employees or more. Well, that is set to start rolling out on Monday. Now, it's just the first phase. This is the part that requires unvaccinated workers to be masked at work. The testing and vaccination component, verification component, that begins next month. So there's a little bit of time, but we do expect that as soon as Monday, we could hear from the court on that part of things. Maybe they'll issue an administrative stay to buy themselves a little more time to write. But certainly the expectation is that on both of these new sweeping rules to get Americans vaccinated, we'll hear something by the end of January. It was clear today, no matter their position on these issues, Phil, the justices were aware of the urgency of the Omicron surge and the particular threat to elderly patients, which was mentioned a number of times today, Phil.
All right, we know you'll be keeping a close eye on it for us. Devin Dwyer, thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Born in Miami to stunned parents because he came early, he was the son of tomato farmers who grew up in one of the most remote islands in the Caribbean. He would later become the first black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor. And tonight, the tributes, as you would imagine, continue to pour in, remembering a legend. Our Lindsay Davis on the iconic life of Sidney Poitier.
Your attitudes, Mr.
Sidney Poitier doesn't make movies, a critic once wrote. He makes milestones. For 2 decades, he stood alone as the only African-American leading man. He was the first to be nominated for an Academy Award.
No more yasser.
The first to win an Oscar for this performance in Lilies of the Field.
Get yourself another boy.
In Guess Who's Coming to Dinner,
Mom, this is John.
he starred in one of Hollywood's first interracial love stories.
Well, we have this problem. I fell in love with your daughter.
From his earliest roles, Poitier challenged racial stereotypes, whether playing a young doctor whose patient died.
There is a possibility that I killed him, isn't there? Don't be a fool. That I was careless in the spinal tap. That his brother's Negro baiting got me down.
Or a man frustrated by his lack of opportunity in A Raisin in the Sun.
I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir, and shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no kind of job. That ain't nothing at all.
Or a police officer forced to work with a racist Southern sheriff in the Heat of the Night.
Virgil, that's a funny name, but it comes from Philadelphia. What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
They also called him Sir.
You will call me sir or Mr. Thackeray.
Poitier's dignified presence on screen opened the door for other black actors. After accepting an honorary Oscar in 2002, he said he didn't try to set the pace for others. His work was simply a reflection of his values.
And if someone saw them and felt that they were of use to them, then I'm blessed.
From a childhood of poverty, Poitier became an American icon, a symbol of persistence and possibility, of hope and excellence. Amen. Lindsay Davis, ABC News. Amen.
Lindsay, thank you. And in 2009, President Obama, when awarding Poitier the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his acting and civil rights achievements, said the actor not only entertained but enlightened, revealing the power of the silver screen to bring us closer. In his native Bahamas, where he would later serve as ambassador to Japan after leaving acting, the Prime Minister, in a national address, said, "Your peers don't give you an Oscar, you win an Oscar." We admire the man not just because of his colossal achievements, but also because of who he was. Poitier left us at the age of 94. Now to that deadly winter storm wreaking havoc all across the Northeast and the Arctic air behind it. Also major concern tonight about black ice and a dangerous night on the roads. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, temperatures plunging after the first major snowstorm of the season strikes the Northeast. Outside Boston, an MBTA bus spinning out on the Mass Pike, blocking traffic for a time. In southeastern Massachusetts, this pickup truck going off the road. Tragically, the driver did not survive. The New York City area saw snowfall rates of up to 2 inches an hour. Crews racing to clear nearly a foot of snow in Connecticut.
A lot of folks are out there trying to get to work. People are trying to go to work. We're trying to keep things moving.
In New Haven, sanitation workers filling in for plow drivers because of COVID staffing issues. More than 2,600 flights canceled nationwide, largely due to weather and COVID-related issues. The storm also bringing record-breaking snow to parts of the South on Thursday. Nashville getting their biggest snowfall in nearly 6 years, and multiple pileups on Kentucky roads.
Stephanie Ramos, thank you. And Rob Marciano joins us now. Rob, that snowstorm, as many do, is being trailed by some frigid temperatures, right?
It is, Phil. I mean, it's sure pretty to look at, but the cold air coming behind this thing is no joke. The center of the storm itself continues to intensify. It actually bombed out off the New England coastline. Right now, it's over Nova Scotia. It's whipping some snow and wind around Maine. Boston, my goodness, you saw nearly a foot of snow with this thing. Could see over a foot of snow east of Cleveland, south of Buffalo, as a lake effect snow machine gets cranking, as this bitterly cold air goes across those relatively warm Great Lakes. All right, in the morning, it's going to feel like single digits in Boston, in Rochester, below 0 in Burlington, 7 potentially in St. Louis, and Tuscaloosa could easily feel like it's below the 30-degree mark. So that is chilly in the south. More than chilly, actually. And across the Northwest, enduring a pretty strong storm the past couple of days. Flood watches and warnings are still out. Some closures of roadways because of rain and snow. And we've got avalanches that are posted, avalanche warnings that are posted for the interior mountains as the snow continues to come down there, Phil.
Rob, quickly, let's talk a little bit more about that major river flooding hitting some communities in western Washington state you're talking about. It's talking about 90 miles south of Seattle, floodwaters surrounding some homes there and businesses. A stretch of major route, as you were talking about in Seattle, I-5 shut down earlier. So what are you most concerned about there tonight?
Well, we still have some rivers that are rising, especially across the Olympic Peninsula. But the good news is that the precipitation is mostly winding down, especially tomorrow, and the next 3 days look to be relatively dry. This system's on the mild side, and it will skirt across the rest of the country, and I think it'll bring some wintry weather in the form of some freezing rain maybe tomorrow to Chicago, and eventually some of that mess will get here in the Northeast as well. So everyone will feel a piece of this northwest storm, Phil.
Welcome to winter. Rob Marciano, thanks so much.
You bet.
And when we come back, the dramatic rescue, deputies desperate to pull a woman from a car before she burns alive. The words from a University of Pennsylvania professor about Asian Americans creating a firestorm tonight. But up next, our in-depth look at the crisis in Kazakhstan and the disturbing intervention by Russia. How will the U.S. respond? Stay with us.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast, now streaming on ABC News Live.
I understood now that this was about more than Emmett. People had to face my son. They would have to see their own responsibility in pushing for an end to this evil.
The realness of it was understood. It was the story of what could happen to a young black man.
Mamie had to brave the racial hostility.
Mamie Till Mobley transformed America. She was black girl magic and black excellence rolled into one.
Let the world see. Next Thursday night, right after Women of the Movement on ABC.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I risked my life. I put my family in danger. If I was caught, they would have put a bullet in my head. But it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Terror plot foiled in Garden City, Kansas.
That would have been one of the most deadly acts of domestic terrorism ever in the United States.
It would have been Oklahoma City.
He put his family, himself, in jeopardy for us.
24 hours, Assault on the Capitol. The ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu. Now streaming. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
National parks are incredibly safe places, but crime will happen.
Hey, Mama. My wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Welcome back, everyone, and take a look at this dramatic body camera footage. Deputies in Tampa rushing to put out the flames of a burning car with the driver still inside. They used 3 fire extinguishers and eventually pulled that woman to safety. We are told she is expected to recover. In a dramatic escalation, security forces in Kazakhstan were given shoot-to-kill without warning orders as the unrest in that nation grows more intense by the day. Russian troops are also there backing up the government. All of this after the strongman regime raised gas prices. Here's ABC's senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell.
It began as peaceful protests over rising gas prices in the oil-rich Central Asian country of Kazakhstan. But it rapidly descended into bloodshed and chaos, with the president issuing a shoot-to-kill order. Dozens of protesters and many police have been killed, hundreds of others injured and thousands arrested. The unrest began this week when thousands of people took to the streets across the country. They protested about gas prices, but also called for political change in this authoritarian regime. They're the largest protests since Kazakhstan's independence from the Soviet Union over 3 decades ago. Almaty, the country's largest city, exploding, with protesters ransacking and burning the mayor's office and the former presidential residence, setting police vehicles ablaze. Kazakhstan is the world's 9th largest oil producer and the 2nd largest centre in the world for Bitcoin mining, home to major mineral deposits, but the average annual income is barely above $800 a month. So when the government removed subsidies, effectively doubling gas prices, anger boiled over. Police and the army responding with brute force. First, tear gas was deployed and stun grenades. A state of emergency was declared. The internet shut down. But it soon became far more violent.
At night, when we hear explosions, I am scared. It hurts to know that young people are dying. I am a mother myself, and it hurts my heart a lot.
Kazakhstan's been dominated by one man since it left the Soviet Union, Nursultan Nazarbayev, an ex-Communist Party boss who built a cult of personality. First as president, then self-styled father of the nation. But years of authoritarian rule, repression, corruption and the failure to share the nation's wealth with the people combined with economic strains caused by the pandemic The gas price hike was the straw that broke the camel's back. The current president, appointed by Nazarbayev, sacked the government, halted the fuel increase and removed Nazarbayev himself from his role as head of the National Security Council. But still, the protest gathered pace. Now, Russian paratroopers have descended on Kazakhstan after the beleaguered president pleaded for help from the Kremlin and other ex-Soviet states. The last thing Putin, China and regional autocrats need is a revolution on their doorstep. Today, the Kazakh president claiming the situation's under control, but pockets of protest remain, and the clamour for real change across this region is undiminished.
With US-Russian relations already strained over Ukraine, this latest crisis will only aggravate tensions further, just as the White House tries to contain Russian ambitions and the Kremlin tries to limit American influence. The Biden administration has two crises to tackle. And there's a real dilemma, I think, for the White House as it tries to reassert itself in terms of foreign policy in the wake of the anniversary of the insurrection on Capitol Hill. Is it willing to support protests that have at times been violent, or stand by as Putin tries to use force to crush legitimate dissent? Both sides are going to have to work hard to make meaningful progress when they meet for talks on Monday. The question is whether the Kremlin is in a listening mood and what common ground, if any, really exists. Phil?
All right, Ian Panel, thank you. Still ahead here on Prime, a major development in the legal challenges faced by former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. The makeup artist with no arms, no legs, who is inspiring so many tonight. Meet him in this week's TikTok. And virtually every American not getting enough fruits and vegetables. We're going to take a look by the numbers. But first, our tweet of the day. The NAACP, like so many civil rights organizations, actors, fans, and the entire nation of the Bahamas, paying tribute to icon Sidney Poitier.
It's an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
It was a scary time.
In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there.
This was premeditated evil.
You have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Right now, with so much at stake, Sunday mornings, this is the place. Taking on all the tough questions, straightforward reporting, no spin, no hype, no bull. Thank you for making ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos the #1 Sunday morning news show versus the competition.
Welcome to This Week.
World News Now.
And America This Morning.
The best new videos.
Breaking news overnight.
Your money and concerns about inflation.
The pandemic is not over.
The stories people are talking about.
You don't want to shave your legs? Don't. I was going to say. And what to expect in the day ahead.
From the top of the world, baby! ABC World News Now and America This Morning.
Weekday morning starting at 2 a.m. Eastern.
Up all night to keep you up to date.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back. We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
Welcome back, everyone. We're just a week into the new year, and many of us are working on those New Year's resolutions. A popular one, eating healthier, but a new study shows that most Americans have an uphill battle doing so. Let's take a look by the numbers. 90% of Americans are not eating the recommended 2 to 3 cups of vegetables per day. That's according to the CDC. 88% of Americans don't eat enough fruit. Health officials recommend 1.5 to 2 cups per day. And here are some interesting breakdowns. 16.4% of Hispanic adults in the U.S. eat enough fruit. They're doing the best in that category, while only 10% of American men eat the fruit recommendations. They are doing the worst. Adults over 50 eat the most vegetables. 12.5% meet the recommended portions, while low-income adults eat the least. Less than 7% get the recommended amount. And where you live could actually matter. 16% of Connecticut residents eat enough fruit. 16% of Vermont residents eat enough vegetables. They win the regional categories, we'll call it. And coming in at the bottom, 8% of West Virginians eat enough fruit, and less than 6% of people in Kentucky eat enough vegetables. There you go. We still have a ton to get to here on Prime. The Sports Illustrated swimsuit model who says someone placed a tracker in her coat when she wasn't looking, the potential risk to us all. Crypto prices have been plunging all week. We'll have the details on that. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
Powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
It's an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
Now streaming on ABC News Live 2020. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime 2020. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
National parks are incredibly safe places, but crime will happen.
Hey, Mama. My wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up.
This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now.
I was shocked.
Something's not right.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
Seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know,
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it? Feel smarter,
feel better.
feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live. It's all about you.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there. She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart that he did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back. We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
The three men who chased down and shot to death Ahmaud Arbery in February 2020 have been sentenced to life in prison.
They each have no remorse and do not deserve any leniency.
In February of 2020, the McMichaels chased the 25-year-old jogger down. Bryant also joining in. It was his cell phone that captured this moment Travis McMichael shot and killed Arbery.
And after Ahmaud Arbery fell, the McMichaels turned their backs. It's, again, a disturbing image, and they walked away.
At a prosecutor's request, a judge in Albany has dismissed the criminal groping case against former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
In his first public appearance since stepping down, Cuomo joined the proceeding virtually. He has denied allegations he groped an aide in 2020, and today, Cuomo's lawyer maintains the case was politically motivated.
Reason and the rule of law prevailed.
However, the aide, Brittany Camiso, said Cuomo groped her when they were alone in an office at the governor's mansion. The prosecutor and attorney general said her claims were credible. She has now indicated that she may file a civil lawsuit.
In Seattle, firefighters rescued a man as a house began sliding off its foundation. The man was trapped in the basement. A woman was able to get out of the house on her own. The team of rescuers can be seen putting out a small fire. One dog was killed in the accident. A second dog has not been located.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Brooks Nader is speaking out about what she says was the scariest moment of her life. Apparently stalked through New York City with the use of an electronic device she didn't even know was there.
I was at a bar in Tribeca, had my coat on the chair behind me. And once I was already on my walk home, halfway home, I got the notification that was like, someone's tracking you and has been for a while.
The notification she says she received on her phone was this: unknown accessory detected. This item has been moving with you for a while. The owner can see its location. Apple tells us they take customer safety seriously, saying AirTag is designed with a set of proactive features to discourage unwanted tracking, a first in the industry that both inform users if an unknown AirTag might be with them and deter bad actors from using an AirTag for nefarious purposes. AirTags are designed to be attached to items that are frequently lost, like keys or wallets, so they can easily be found.
The cryptocurrency roller coaster hitting a low point, perhaps in part based on the unrest in Kazakhstan. Bitcoin dropping to a 3-month low, falling below the $41,000 mark. Sell-off of the world's largest crypto came as Kazakhstan's internet shutdown took as much as 15% of the network offline. It's the second largest center for Bitcoin mining. Another potential factor, the Federal Reserve hinting at dialing back pandemic-era stimulus.
Barbie's going upscale. 2022 starting off with a splash of pink in the high fashion collab between French fashion house Balmain and Barbie. The 50-piece collection modeled on digital avatars, all unisex clothing. Balmain's creative director Olivier Rousteing grew up playing with Barbies. He says her world is for everyone. For the superfan, the collection also includes 3 NFTs for auction, each coming with a doll-sized physical design. The fashion world has a soft spot for the inner child. Last fall, Barbie's parent company Mattel collabed with Gucci for a Hot Wheels Cadillac. And there was the collaboration nobody saw coming. The Simpsons decked out in Balenciaga.
Holy crap, I'm beautiful.
The University of Pennsylvania Law School had to go into damage control this week after one of its professors made racist comments about Asians and the Asian American community in a letter published online. Her comments read in part, maybe it's just that Democrats love open borders and Asians want more Asians here. Perhaps they are just mesmerized by the feel-good cult of diversity. I don't know the answer, but as long as most Asians support Democrats and help to advance their positions, I think the United States is better off with fewer Asians and less Asian immigration. Again, the professor's words. Joining me now is Sujin Jung, who is the co-president of the Asian Pacific American Law Students Association, and Apratim Vidyarthi, who is a third-year law student at UPenn. Guys, thanks both for joining us. We appreciate it.
We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
first of all, let's start with your reaction to those words. Sujan, we'll start with you.
Sure. I mean, I think my honest initial reaction was just not surprised. I think after the 4 years that we've had of President Trump, a lot of racist rhetoric around Asian Americans, a lot of hate crimes and attacks and feeling unsafe in America, this just initially seemed like just another incident. And yet I think as we continue to read more about what she said, actually listen to the interview, it was clear that this was really egregious. This was really blatant, explicit, and it came from a professor at our own law school. So it was pretty horrible. And yeah, I think this is just something that we need to mobilize against, and we really need to fire Amy Wax.
We'll get to that and your efforts in just a minute, but Upperton, if you would tell me what your initial thoughts were when you read those comments as well.
Yeah, disappointed and not surprised. We know she said similar things in the past. She's said that white European cultures are better than non-white European cultures in the past. She's lied about Black students' performance in class. So it wasn't surprising, and it's about time that we do something about this.
Well, together, you helped write a petition demanding for the school to take action against the professor, who we should mention is tenured and makes it quite difficult to remove her. In it, you say, Wax's racist comments have become a semi-annual ritual that receives temporary furor and temporary consequences. So, Upperton, you just talked about some of the other comments that you've heard her make. Sujan, let's start with you on that as well. What have you heard over the years that makes this a pattern for you and not just an isolated incident?
Sure. I mean, I have to say that when I got into Penn Law, I was really excited about being a lawyer, being able to go to a law school. And then one of the first incidents that I heard about was we have a really racist professor. Her name is Amy Wax. And so kind of right out of the gate, I was aware that this was something to be wary of, that this was someone that Penn Law had in its faculty. The incident that I had heard about was the idea that Black people had rarely graduated in the top half of her class or the top quarter of her class. And so obviously, that's demeaning to Black students. And as I continue to kind of be around Penn Law and hear about other quotes, I heard other things as well that Upperton said, that there should be fewer non-whites and more whites and things like that.
The dean of the law school also called her comments anti-intellectual and racist. However, her status does grant her some protection, and that's got to be frustrating to you. What steps do you think the university should take? Upperton.
Yeah, well, she's clearly unfit to teach or be a professor given these white supremacist statements. And there is a clause in tenure that allows for termination for cause. We and the university should be investigating whether that clause can be activated. And if now is not the right time to use it, then when exactly is it? Because if I said something like that, or you said something like that, or an NFL coach said something like that, they'd be fired off the bat. And in addition to that, I think that the university needs to suspend her from all teaching duties. She's currently teaching 2 classes, including conservative political and legal thought, which I feel is unfair to conservative students because they have to take that class with white supremacists. So she shouldn't be allowed to come on campus. She shouldn't be allowed to interact with students while this investigation is ongoing. And I think the university needs to be incredibly transparent about this and put their money where their mouths are.
All right, and lastly, this question is for both of you. First, Sujan, how is the Asian and Asian American student body feeling now, today, after these comments and in the midst of what's going on?
I think there's a lot of disappointment at the administration. As much as Amy Wax has said these things, we also know by now that it is a pattern, as we said in the petition. The administration has had more than enough evidence that she's not a professor who reflects well on this institution, that does not align with its values towards racial justice and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so a lot of disappointment at the administration, even though the statement condemned what Wax said, they also are not doing more.
And Upperton, talk about the student body as a whole. You're a third-year law student. How are you trying to get people to unite, to push for change despite the tenure situation?
Yeah, I think that the first thing is to go through the university instead of the law school. And the university has the ability to at least investigate this. I know that a lot of students are frustrated, but I think there's also a little bit of hope given the events, the national quote-unquote reckoning on race that's happened in the last couple of years. And finally, Dr. Amy Gutman, the president of the university, is up for ambassadorship. So she should sort of put her values up front and center and try and do something about this.
All right, we would also just like to add at this point that ABC News did reach out to Professor Amy Wax for comment. and we did not receive a response. Sujin Jung and Apratim Vidyarthi, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck to both of you in your legal careers, which seem to be starting off promising.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, now to the economy. In a disappointing jobs report for the month of December, the U.S. added just about 199,000 new jobs. That's about half of the 400,000 economists were expecting. But unemployment rate did tick down a bit to 3.9%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Still, uncertainty remains over the economy and the impact that the Omicron variant may have on growth. All right, we now turn to our weekly segment, TikTok, where we interview some of our favorite TikTokers, taking a closer look at the story behind the sensation, and this is a great one. Can't wait to introduce you. According to the CDC, 61 million people in the United States live with a form of disability. Over the last year, TikTok has become a platform to help raise awareness for disabled content creators, allowing them to define their own story. Our next guest is certainly doing just that. Gabe Adams-Wheatley is breaking several stereotypes and inspiring so many along the way. Take a look. Gabe joins us now. Gabe, it is really nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You are certainly making strides on social media, 2.1 million followers, I believe, on TikTok, showing your audience that your disability does not define who you are. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
Well, I was born without arms and legs, and I feel like all my life I've always had to prove that I'm able to do something bigger and better than what people think that I may physically be able to do. And then COVID hit, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with my life? What's my next big step? And it ended up being makeup. I've always had like a huge passion for makeup. TikTok came up, and I was like, okay, I'll just post a video and see how that does. And the first video didn't do that well because people didn't realize that I actually didn't have arms and legs, because I only showed from the shoulders up, and people were like, why is he not using his hands? And so my second video I posted, I showed at the very beginning that I had no arms and no legs. And that video just blew up, and everybody was just amazed that I was able to do that all.
Well, you watch your videos, or at least I watch your videos, and there is such a great positive energy to anything you do, whether it's putting on makeup or you're with your husband. While you certainly have built a loving and supportive community among your supporters, unfortunately, there are still some who go to your account and leave hateful comments. That's kind of just a reality in a social media world. But how do you balance the positivity of your project on your platform with what can only be described as hatred and judgment that others still show?
Honestly, it's still a learning game for me. I'm still new to having this kind of spotlight and attention on me. And so I just need to keep my head held high and keep doing what I love doing, and hope that it will outshine what others want to say about me, whether that's negative or positive.
I'm interested in your upbringing. I read an interview of yours once where you talk about being adopted and growing up, I believe it's in Utah, in a fairly religious family. I was really touched to hear how supportive your parents were about everything and how that made such a huge difference in your life. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I did grow up in a LDS religion, and my dad was a seminary teacher for 32 years. And so being gay was not okay or acceptable. But when I was 19, I was getting ready to move out. And I just told my parents, hey, look, I am gay. I'm not changing for you or for anybody else. This is who I am. And either you get on board and we continue to grow our relationship, or this will be the last time we ever talk. And from that moment on, it has strengthened our relationship thousands and thousands of times.
If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say to anyone going through a similar journey? Not necessarily the same, obviously, but a similar journey. What advice would you give?
Probably just that it gets better. There's always going to be down days. Everybody's human. It's all part of life, but there's always going to be somebody out there that has it 10 times worse than you. So you take what you got and you just make the most out of it, not just for yourself, but for those around you.
Perfect advice, and coming from the right person. You are an inspiration. It is great to watch your videos. It is so great to meet you. Thanks for sharing your story with us. Really do appreciate it, and hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Now to the feud that is rocking the internet, the battle between Elmo and a pet rock named Rocco over an oatmeal raisin cookie. ABC's Chris Connolly breaks down the battle for us.
No, wait, Elmo. Rocco says that he wants the oatmeal raisin cookie.
He's mad as Elmo, and he's not going to take it anymore.
Rocco's a rock, Zoe. Rocco won't know the difference.
This week saw the online universe captivated by the hot-blooded beef between the Sesame Street superstar and his friend Zoe's pet rock, named Rocco.
You can't have that cookie, Elmo. Rocco wants to eat it. How? How is Rocco going to eat that cookie, Zoe? Tell Elmo. Rocco doesn't even have a mouth. Rocco's just a rock. Rocco's not alive.
Just one oatmeal cookie, enough to take cheerful Elmo from just being red to seeing red.
Rocks don't do much. They just sit there. You mean like Rocco?
And leaving some to wonder, can a Muppet be gaslighted?
I'm sorry I'm late, but Rocco had to go to the potty. What?
Elmo versus Rocco dates back to 2004, when this storyline first aired on Sesame Street.
Oh, boy, Rocco, isn't this exciting?
No surprise in this stressful time.
Rocco's a rock, Zoe.
How memes and TikTok turbocharged Elmo's envy and exasperation across social media. Perfect for right now.
Well, because Rocco is just a rock, Zoe.
On Wednesday, Elmo, perhaps trying to dull the sharpness of his rock hater scissors.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, boy.
Issuing a statement on Twitter. Wait, what? Saying, don't worry, everybody. Elmo and Zoe practiced sharing and are still best buds forever. Elmo loves you, Zoe. Ha ha ha. Elmo doesn't want to talk about Rocco. No comment from Rocco, as usual. Emboldened, Elmo going for Olympic gold in subtweeting with this. Has anybody ever seen a rock eat a cookie? Elmo is just curious. And that's when Dwayne Johnson entered the chat. Yes, my friend, he responded on Thursday. This rock devours cookies.
Chris, thank you so much. Before we go tonight, the image of the day. A woman finding Sidney Poitier's star on the Walk of Fame and placing flowers to pay tribute to his trailblazing life. That's our show for this hour. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Phil Lipoff. Thanks so much for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, we are celebrating the life and legacy of legendary actor Sidney Poitier. Plus, our look at the hottest tech coming out of this week's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Stay with us.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
The ladies you love, the hottest topics happening now. There's only one place to find it all.
You guys are having the hard conversations. I love The View.
The most watched #1 daytime talk show is The View. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It was a scary time in the 70s. You had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. We had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there.
This was premeditated evil.
We have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
ABC News honored winner of 9 Edward R. Murrow Awards, more than any other network, including winning for the 3rd straight year the award for overall excellence in television. ABC News is America's #1 news source. With so much at stake, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast and the #1 program on television.
Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. A judge has declined lowering the bond for the parents of suspected Oxford, Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley. Judge Julie Nicholson of Oakland County District Court kept it at $500,000 each for James and Jennifer Crumbley, labeling the two as flight risks, in part because they hid in that Detroit warehouse instead of turning themselves in when they were charged. Prosecutors today laid out how the couple allegedly ignored or missed warning signs displayed by their son leading up to the shooting, which killed 4. A horribly tragic incident at a high school JV hockey game in Greenwich, Connecticut yesterday after a player died from an injury sustained in the game. Police say during the game, a player fell to the ice. Another player who was unable to stop collided with him, accidentally cutting him with a skate. The player was rushed to the hospital where he later passed away. And if former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has looked different recently, there is a reason. The former congressman and CIA director telling the New York Post that he has lost nearly 90 pounds since June, a few months after his time in the Trump administration ended. The secretary credits the age-old staples of weight loss, a better diet, and regular exercise. Now to an emotional day in court. The sentencing today of the 3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. All were sentenced to life without 2 of them without parole, Gregory and Travis McMichael. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami with the judge's powerful message.
Inside the South Georgia courtroom, the families watching from their seats were praying as the judge began to read.
As to Travis McMichael, Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole.
State law required the judge to hand the 3 men who murdered Ahmaud Arbery life sentences, and the only mercy he could show was to allow them to be eligible for parole after 30 years. But for Travis McMichael, who fired the fatal shot, and his father, Gregory, a former police officer, the judge refused parole. They will die in prison.
They chose to target my son because they didn't want him in their community. They chose to treat him differently than other people who frequently visited their community.
In a powerful moment, Judge Timothy Walmsley sat in silence for one of the 5 minutes that Ahmaud Arbery ran for his life. And he said that this piece of video helped make up his mind, seeing the son and his father turn their backs on the young black man who was dying in the street.
His death should force us to consider expanding our definition of what a neighbor may be and how we treat them. I believe that assuming the worst in others, we show our worst character.
Because he cooperated with investigators, the judge decided that 52-year-old William Roddy Bryant will be eligible for parole after serving 30 years. He recorded the video of the killing.
Mr. Bryant isn't the one who brought a gun. He was unarmed.
Outside the courthouse, friends and family of the victim let out cheers. Arbery's mother, who tearfully spoke in court, called today a victory for justice.
I sat in that courtroom for 5 weeks straight, but I knew that we would come out with a victory.
Yes.
I never doubted it.
Our thanks to Steve Osunsami. Now to the pandemic and the new records being set as Omicron continues to rage out of control across the United States. COVID cases breaking records each of the last 10 days, now averaging 586,000 new cases a day. And tonight, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky addressing the backlash over the CDC's decision to reduce isolation after a positive case to 5 days without a test. Here's ABC's Chief National Correspondent, Matt Gutman.
Tonight, the CDC is reporting that children under 5 who are too young to get the vaccine are being hospitalized at double the rate than a month ago. In New York, hospital admissions for that age group rising 8-fold in the last month. And many of the children in the hospital are also older, eligible for the vaccine, but still have yet to get the shot.
Those children who are hospitalized do not have to be scared, frightened, lying in a hospital bed. They do not have to be there. Thousands of children have been vaccinated safely.
In Massachusetts, 15-year-old Kurt Ryan passing away Tuesday of COVID complications after getting sick on Christmas.
He just got progressively worse. Actually, it wasn't progressive, it was quick.
His family did not want to talk about Kurt's vaccination status.
Every chance you get, tell the people around you love them.
Yeah.
And how much they mean to you, because you never know when it's the last time you'll be able to say it.
Across the country, thousands of schools postponing in-person class or going remote. Today in Los Angeles, parents like Irene telling us that trying to find testing for their kids has been like a part-time job.
There's nothing available until 2 weeks from now. She needs to start school on Tuesday.
This comes as COVID cases break daily pandemic records, and now a more worrisome sign, hospitalizations nearing an all-time high. And officials from Oregon to New Hampshire are calling for more help from the National Guard.
We got to wake up, America. All the work that we're doing here and all the care that we're doing, the vast majority of it is preventable.
They ended up getting COVID.
ICU patient Fred Rutherford, who is unvaccinated, says he could have died if it wasn't for the medical team at Dartmouth-Hitchcock.
I will do anything I can to be the voice of people that don't understand you got to get vaccinated.
Today, the CDC director defending those controversial guidelines, shortening the isolation to 5 days without recommending a test. That after the American Medical Association called them confusing and accused the CDC of risking further spread of the virus.
I have deep respect for the AMA, but I will also say we've heard a lot of support for our ongoing guidance from public health partners, from other clinical and laboratory partners as well.
And later, the CDC director acknowledging the confusion, but reiterating that in a pandemic, the situation is constantly evolving.
This is hard, and I am committed to continue to improve as we learn more about the science and to communicate that with all of you.
Matt Gutman in Los Angeles, thank you. Born in Miami to stun parents because he came early, Sidney Poitier was the son of tomato farmers who grew up in one of the most remote islands in the Caribbean. He would later become the first black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor, and tonight the tributes are pouring in as we remember a legend. Our David Muir on Poitier's iconic life.
Amen. Amen. Sidney Poitier, the gifted Hollywood actor, the civil rights trailblazer.
Why you black? Go ahead and say it.
His roles did not ignore the times.
I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes, sir, and no, sir, and shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no kind of job. That ain't nothing at all.
He was born in Miami and raised in the Bahamas on his father's tomato farm. He'd moved to Harlem as a teenager and worked as a dishwasher, trying out for roles, remembering being turned away by a director.
I did decide then, at that moment, on that street, that I am going to be an actor just to show him that he was wrong about me.
He earned a place in a theater acting school after volunteering to work as a janitor without pay, and later from New York to Hollywood. In 1950, at the age of 22, playing a doctor in the groundbreaking film on racism, No Way Out.
There is a possibility that I killed him, isn't there? Don't be a fool. That I was careless in the spinal tap. That his brother's Negro baiting got me down.
Poitier's leading roles, men of dignity and quiet determination, which was how he conducted himself in life.
I became interested in the civil rights struggle out of a necessity to survive. And I think my interest started many years ago
Never as intensely, however, as it exists today.
In 1963, he played handyman Homer Smith in Lilies of the Field.
Get yourself another boy.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
That role earning him the Academy Award, becoming the first black performer to win a Best Actor Oscar in a leading role.
It is a long journey to this moment.
By 1967, Poitier had become one of Hollywood's top-earning leading men.
What do they call you up there? They call me Mr. Tibbs.
In the heat of the night,
There was a time when I could have had you shot.
that same year,
Mom, this is John. I'm so pleased to meet you.
in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, part of an interracial couple pushing through boundaries.
Well, we have this problem. I fell in love with your daughter.
The conversation with his father.
I'm your son. I love you. I always have, and I always will. But you think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
In 2002, awarded an honorary Oscar for his life's work. Poitier thanked those in Hollywood who took a chance on him and who believed in a changing America.
Those filmmakers persevered, speaking through their art to the best in all of us. And I benefited from their effort. The industry benefited from their effort. America benefited from their effort.
It was that same night Halle Berry, the first black lead actress to win an Oscar. Denzel Washington would earn an Oscar too for Best Lead Actor.
40 years I've been chasing Sidney. They finally give it to me. What do? They give it to him the same night. I'll always be chasing you, Sidney. I'll always be following in your footsteps. There's nothing I would rather do, sir. Nothing I would rather do.
In 2009, Poitier receiving the Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor from President Barack Obama. And the moment the two men, who both had made history, appeared to acknowledge it. Tonight, tributes from around the world. Oprah Winfrey saying, "For me, the greatest of the great trees has fallen, Sidney Poitier. My honor to have loved him as a mentor, friend, brother, confidant, wisdom teacher." Tonight, as the country celebrates a man who broke barriers with his quiet, steady way, the simple lesson from his mother.
Always say thank you and please. Everywhere I went, it was remarkable how many times thank you and please opened doors for me.
An amazing career and life. Our thanks to David for that. Joining us now is a dear friend of ABC News Live, ABC News contributor Elsie Granderson. Elsie, thanks so much for being here to remember the great Sidney Poitier. You actually had the honor of working with him. I reposted a tweet that you put out today with this scene in it. How old were you and what was that like?
Wow. I was 24. When I met Sidney Poitier, and I was an actor, obviously, that's how I got into film, but I was also an academic. I was pretty hell-bent on going into journalism at this point in my life and was kind of winding up the career in theater and in film. And the time that I got to spend with Sidney Poitier was so life-affirming because, he reminded me of the importance of dignity and having dignity in everything that I did and remembering that whether I felt that way or not, that there were always eyeballs on me and that I was always a representation of my community, of being a black man in America. And he didn't say it with this level of sort of like fear or disdain. He said it in this gentle, loving way of the way that your grandmother or maybe your grandfather would say, represent the family well. Like, we've raised you up, now go out and do well in this world. And that is really the way that, Sidney Poitier spoke to me, during our breaks on set. And I noticed that was the way he spoke to a lot of black actors on set, you know, during that time in which I was with him. He really wanted to make sure we knew it was important that we used our platforms, whatever platforms there were, that we did so representing the best of us, because everyone expected the worst.
He won his Academy Award, as we mentioned, in 1964. And we are talking about a time where racial tension was so high in this country. He also participated in advancing equality. How superhuman was it for him to achieve so much during a time where some people didn't even think he had the right to share the same water fountain?
You know, I will never understand, you know, why God chose him. I would never understand, you know, why Sidney Poitier accepted the challenge. I'm just grateful that God did and he did, because you're absolutely correct. You know, we're talking Jackie Robinson of Hollywood, if you will, in a lot of ways, in which not only was he oftentimes, as of all the time, the only one in the space, but he wasn't always surrounded by encouragement and love while he was in that space. And he could not allow himself to show his anger, because that's what they wanted to see. He wouldn't give his enemies or those who wanted to see him fail or his detractors the benefit of seeing him be impacted by the negativity. And I don't know what, you know, where he got the strength to do that. I really don't. Decade after decade after decade of trying to walk into these rooms in Hollywood. I mean, think about it. We just had a hashtag Oscars So White. These are supposed to be the better times. So imagine what he was dealing with when he was trying to make his way in that world as an actor, as a dark-skinned actor at that. That's important too, because the colorization aspect of this conversation should not be downplayed. He's a dark-skinned black man trying to break it and make it into what was essentially an all-white industry. And if you were black in that industry, it was in a subservient role, and he refused to play those roles. And he had the strength to stand up and do all of that while also maintaining the dignity and the black boy joy of being able to be on stage or being able to be in film to portray these amazing characters. He was a remarkable man, and I am forever grateful for the time he invested in me, as well as the time that he shared with so many others who looked up to him for guidance and direction.
Jackie Robinson of Hollywood, a beautiful way to put it. In the limited time we have left, we want to mention that beyond the U.S., Poitier was a hero for his native Bahamas. After Hollywood, he became an ambassador, as you know, to Japan for the nation. And today the Prime Minister tweeted, "Our country is in mourning, and so I have instructed that the Bahamian flag be flown at half-mast at our home and around our embassies around the world. We know the world mourns with us." Calling for flags to be lowered makes it very clear that he was much more than an actor to this country and its people, right?
Absolutely. And he was much more than an actor to us here in the United States as well. He was a humanitarian. He was a civil rights activist. And he perpetually reminded us of our better selves. And so I was glad to see that his native country responded to his passing in this way, because he should not be viewed simply as an actor that have moved on. He was so much more than that. And I will think about him often. You know, it's just I'm trying not to cry, because he meant that much to me in my youth, and I can only imagine what it was like for so many people back home, as well here in the States, to see that face on the big screen doing the damn thing.
Well, we can see it in your face and we can hear it in your voice. Thank you so much. Our thoughts, of course, with you and his family tonight.
Thank you for having me.
The annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas wraps up tomorrow, and even though attendance is down this year because of COVID, of course, exhibitors are still showing off some pretty amazing new products that might actually change the way we live, watch, even drive. Here to tell us about the latest and greatest is CNET Editor-at-Large, Bryant Cooley. Brian, thanks so much for taking the time.
Sure, Phil.
All right, let's start with TVs, which everybody is excited about, everybody can get on board with, always a big part of the Consumer Electronics Show. What did you see making an impact?
Two of the most interesting things I saw, aside from bigger, brighter TVs with more resolution, we always see that, Samsung has a gaming hub built into some of their new TVs, which will bring in other cloud gaming services, which are red hot going forward, and build those into the TV. LG did something similar. They built in a telehealth hub in some of their future TVs, where you can access your doctor or get medical advice from a pharmacist. And of course, that TV has a camera on it, so you can have that telehealth meeting.
Wow, that's wild. I wonder if that comes out of the last 2 years that we've been dealing with. Big theme for the last few years has been the smart home, with lots of electronics for everyday living. So what stood out to you this year at the show?
Well, related to TVs, actually, is this interesting remote control that is easily lost anywhere in the home. But at least when you do find it, it's going to have a charge because it doesn't have batteries. It charges either via solar, which is actually not a new trick, but now via radio waves. We also saw what I think is the first successful robotic vacuum that will also do wet mopping. So regardless of what surface it goes over, it can either dry vac or it can wet mop. Now, we haven't tried it yet, but that's kind of a breakthrough. And so we're starting to see more and more of the everyday drudgery of the house get handled.
Well, if they could just put an alarm on the remote so when mine slips in between the cushions, it lets me know. That would be a good one. Tell them about that at next year's show. Another big topic at the CES is always cars, one of my favorites. Let's start off with electric vehicles. What made a splash this year?
Well, the biggest splash was certainly the most expected, and that was the electric Chevy Silverado, which now bookends the electric Ford F-150, which made a huge splash a couple of months ago. So now the battle is on. The biggest thing in electric cars is electric trucks, for sure. And as a couple of executives in that sector have told me, if you can sell electric pickup trucks, you can sell electric anything.
And I knew we were going to have to talk about this. What about autonomous or self-driving cars? We've been hearing a lot about them. Are we any closer to really seeing them everywhere?
You know, almost every car that is shown at CES, and there were concepts from General Motors, from Mercedes, from several other car makers, and they all tend to roll in some degree of autonomy because that's just what you do now. That doesn't indicate that we're getting radically closer to it. What I see happening is a fork in the road, so to speak. Autonomy is going to, I think, have more traction sooner in things like ride services, fleets, delivery vehicles, things of that nature, where you know what the job is and you've got a high degree of utilization. The thing is on the road a lot, and therefore it can earn back the cost of all that R&D to make it autonomous. What I think will come much later is going to be a highly autonomous, fully self-driving car parked in our driveways because we don't use those cars enough, and there's less motivation, to be honest.
And of course, the trust factor after all of that. Were there any cars that had some really cool tricks but won't end up in our driveway?
Yeah, you probably heard about this BMW that can change colors. It can only change between two colors. It's not like red, blue, green. It goes from very light, almost white, to very dark gray, almost black. That's because it has essentially a Kindle screen papered all over it. They covered it in what they call e-ink, just like your Kindle. Now, some would look at this and say, okay, that's silly, and they have no plans to bring it to market just yet.
A lot of talk about the metaverse this year, where we can interact in an alternate digital universe. What were the few products showcased that we'll be able to use soon in that arena?
Well, Sony has come out with their new headset, which is called the PlayStation VR 2. And then later in the year, we fully expect another one to come out from Meta/Facebook/Oculus that is codenamed the Cambria, I think. And then the big one will be a highly expected headset from Apple. It'll be some combination of virtual or augmented reality. And without getting into the nuts and bolts of how they'll do what they do, this could be the trifecta we need of big names to say, hey, everyone, it's time to at least try this, and it's here to stay, and it's not just the domain of geekery. And of course, it will be a key component to at least some definition of this metaverse that you mentioned.
The domain of geekery, is that yours? Do we need to trademark that?
It is now. Gotta own it.
You just claimed it on television. All right, finally, there are always some of these very cool gee whiz moments, these products that are unveiled at the CES. This year, what stood out for you in that sense?
One that'll keep you awake at night once you see it. Sorry, it's called Amica. It's a lifelike robot from a company called Engineered Arts. It's actually not their most lifelike. They make one that literally looks like a human. This one looks human-like. And they say the point here is for it to not look too human-like because everyone knows that's a trick, but also to not look machine-like because that's hard to relate to. It's not trying to fool you that it's a human, but it's trying to relate to you as a human. It's very interesting.
Still, sleep with one eye open, right? All right, thanks so much for joining us. Bryant Cooley, CNET Editor-at-Large. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil.
We'll be right back.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast, now streaming on ABC News Live.
It was a scary time. In the 70s, you had multiple bodies showing up in Los Angeles.
There were so many murders happening. You had to have a name for it, serial killer.
There was a human head in there. This was premeditated evil.
You have this clock. This person is going to do this again.
It's me against the killer. Who's going to win?
We'll see who laughs last.
What came next was unlike anything they had ever seen.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Now streaming on ABC News Live.
It's all about you.
I risked my life. I put my family in danger. If I was caught, they would have put a bullet in my head. But it was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Terror plot foiled in Garden City, Kansas.
That would have been one of the most deadly acts of domestic terrorism ever in the United States.
It would have been Oklahoma City.
He put his family, himself, in jeopardy for us.
Assault on the Capitol, the ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu, now streaming. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people
squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
National parks are incredibly safe places, but crime will happen.
Hey, my wife has fallen. She's in really critical condition.
At that time, I thought it was just a tragic accident.
There's still a lot of questions we need to ask.
There were small things that didn't totally add up. This is 2 lives for Harold that have died now. I was shocked. Something's not right.
Welcome back, everyone. We are tracking several headlines around the world right now. As fighting in Kazakhstan continues, the nation's president said he gave the army and police orders to, quote, shoot to kill without warning. Gunfire was reported overnight as clashes continue to ramp up. Russian military units have arrived in Kazakhstan to support government forces. The tallest volcano on the Galapagos Islands continued erupting today. It has been emitting lava and clouds of ash since midnight Wednesday. Thankfully, there was no immediate danger to populated areas. For 3 days, South Africa's LGBTQ+ community created its own country near Johannesburg. Queertopia created a space designed for people to feel they belong while focusing on issues affecting the community in South Africa. The event featured dancing and an exhibition called The House of Remembrance. Now to the heartwarming story of a viral video showing a 2-year-old boy seeing himself as a movie character. It not only makes you smile, but sends a powerful message to Hollywood that representation matters. Here's ABC's Will Gantz.
Hi. There he is, the star of the show. What's up, Kenzo?
What's up?
That's 2-year-old Kenzo Brooks. And this is Antonio from the new Disney movie Encanto.
I understand you.
The resemblance uncanny. Something little Kenzo himself noticed during movie night with his parents, Kaisha and Keith.
I truly believe that he thought it was him. Just his reaction. He kept staring at the screen, then looking back at us and just smiling.
Mom and Dad catching the sweet moment on camera.
Just to see how ecstatic he was. You know, he clapped. He was just excited.
The photo going viral, along with the hashtag representation matters.
He was able to see someone that looks like him. And I know growing up for me, that wasn't necessarily
that wasn't necessarily something you often see. For me, it did make me feel a little bit emotional just to think that my son was able to see this and have this experience. And just for so many other black and brown boys and girls to be able to have that same experience now, I think that was amazing.
Comments pouring in support of Kenzo and his on-screen twin. This is why representation matters. It's good seeing us on TV in a good light.
This is such a big moment for us, but for him, at such a young age, he's 2, is going to be, I feel, and I'm hoping it will be it will become normal.
But it will be nice to tell him and show him one day, though.
Years from now.
Will Gans, thank you. You have to think how Sidney Poitier would have loved that story. That's our show for tonight. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Phil Lipoff. Thanks so much for streaming with us.
It's an extraordinary story.
A computer salesman was supposed to report to prison to begin a 17-year sentence.
They let him turn himself into jail with no escort.
No one thought he would run.
How do you evade capture for 25 years? How do you do that?
Now, join the search, following the U.S. Marshals as they uncover new leads in a global manhunt. Can you help catch this fugitive?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man? Listen and join the all-new hunt wherever you get your podcasts.
When you wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, darling, I'll be by your side. I'll be there by your side. I'll be everything you wanted. I'll be there by your side. If you need a light to shine it, hold out your hand, let the stars shoot again, let the light shine in through the dark.
Good morning, America.
Right now, with so much at stake, Sunday mornings, this is the place. Taking on all the tough questions. Straightforward reporting. No spin, no hype, no bull. Thank you for making ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos the #1 Sunday morning news show versus the competition.
Welcome to This Week.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live.
All right, we're gonna move back. Let's move back.
We're surrounded by people
Squeezing into this bomb shelter.
We're on an urgent delivery run.
Not afraid to go there.
So my question, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Breaking news, live events.
This is the moment.
Streaming straight to you, anytime, anywhere.
You just met one friend right here.
You're watching ABC News Live. Thanks for streaming with us.
Want to understand what happened to January 6th, you really have to rewind the clock to really look at where that anti-government movement started from.
We came from an era of Ruby Ridge, Waco,
the Bundy Ranch.
Federal agents clashing with protesters, some from armed militia groups.